Hello, folks, and welcome back to my channel. This is Horror Town, and today I have another Halloween movie review for you. And this time we'll be looking at the eighth movie in the franchise called Halloween Resurrection. So, Halloween Resurrection, indeed. So, what's this movie about? So, let's get into it. So, it is a 2002 American slasher film, according to Wikipedia, that was directed by Rick Rosenthal after, well, from the screenplay written by Larry Brand as well as Sean Hood, according to Wikipedia, right? So, this is basically, obviously, another sequel to Halloween. This one is a sequel to the previous film from 1988, Halloween H2O, 20 years later. And this was supposed to be the final movie at the time, the last installment in this ever-growing franchise, that keeps on, releasing new movies. But at the time, this was supposed to be the last one, right? The closing movie. Obviously, there have been others since then, but we're going to focus on this one since my review is about it. So, what is this movie pretty much about? So, as you might have guessed, so this is obviously, a new, obviously, yes, this takes place after Halloween 6, H2O, Halloween 7. So this is, yeah, obviously something big happened. The final twist of the previous film occurred, and those who have watched it know what it is. I'm not gonna spoil it here for those who haven't, but obviously something big happened, and this movie kind of obviously continues, picks up where the other one left off. And we have Laurie, who is Laurie Strode, who was our main character in many previous films. And she returns in this film, but something is gonna happen. I'm not gonna spoil too much anything, but she's not such a big part of the movie, you know. As opposed to what the movie poster seems to suggest, as you see her there as one of the main characters. She's, very, she plays in this film, but kind of briefly, right? So this movie takes place 3 years after the Hillcrest Academy murders, and I'm trying my level best not to spoil too much. So basically, Laurie Strode is still kind of, you know, suffering a little bit. Obviously, suffering a lot from the events that occurred before, from everything she's been through. And now she's institutionalized in some kind of a sanitarium called Grace Anderson Sanitarium, some kind of a mental institution, if you will. But, it turns out that Michael Myers is still alive, as you probably know by now, right? It's very, he keeps on coming back since the movies are about him. And basically, Michael Myers is back there, and Laurie is suffering a lot. She doesn't really speak. She's been given her medication, her pills, some pills that she takes actually, she does something. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'll let you find out for yourselves what it is. But basically, what happens is Michael tracks her down and he decides to go after her once again. And then obviously you have the final, the end of the opening sequence, which I'm not going to spoil in any way, shape, or form. But this is pretty much it for Laurie's appearance in this film. As we move on to basically what happens a year later. And this time we have another set of characters who happen to be college students. We have Sarah Moyer, our main character, Donna Chang, Jen Danzig, Jim Morgan, as well as Rudy Grimes. And basically they're going to be, they're going to be taking part in this internet reality show that was called Dangertainment, right? So obviously a play on words, entertainment, Dangertainment, and the one directing it is Freddie Harris and a woman named Nora Winston. Basically, this whole reality show kind of thing is it's gonna have the it aims at having, these the winners, the ones who have been selected to play in it, to spend a night in Michael's, you know childhood house, that is now, you can see the windows have been boarded up. It's pretty much, abandoned. It looks pretty creepy, right? And obviously, yes, this became, this kind of, I guess, ghost house, that people like to do, to, how could I say, spend time in, for views and things like that. This is pretty much what it became, some kind of a tourist attraction. A tourist attraction. So this is pretty much what it became. And these students are going to be spending the night there, and they're going to be having, they're going to be camera set, in the house. They're going to have cameras themselves, and this is pretty much how it goes. And obviously, people can see it, in live, right? So this is usually, this happens at a time when, as Grayson said in his review, please check it out. He did an awesome review. He made an awesome review. This is when the internet obviously became more and more popular. So this is why this movie kind of uses that as the main kind of big theme of the film. So obviously they're gonna be there. They're gonna be spending time there, and obviously there are gonna be some jump scares, but some of it could be there are some props. There are some fake things. Just some yeah, some stuff is rigged, just to make them scared and jump out of their skins and scream. This is what they basically want. If you watch any reality TV show, this is pretty much what it's all about, right? Getting a lot of screams and a lot of you know, how could I say, a real, kind of emotions, whatever. You understand. So basically, obviously, Michael is gonna show up, and the body count is gonna begin. The blood is gonna be spilled, and well, the horror is about to begin. So this is pretty much it for Halloween Resurrection. I don't know if I have any more to say about it, because this is pretty much how it is. So it's going to be a shorter review perhaps than my previous one, since this one is pretty simple in its plot. Not much to say other than that. So what did I think about it? I thought that Halloween Resurrection, as Grayson said in his review, I agree with him. It's not the best one in the franchise. It's definitely a step down from the previous movies that were just excellent. Yeah, this one is probably one of my least favorites, alongside Halloween 2. It's not it's not a bad film. Let me get it straight. It's not a bad, horrible, boring film. It is good for what it is. It has its moments. There are some kills in this film that are just, obviously terrifying. There are some, yeah, blood curdling screams. There's a lot of, it has a lot of good in it, but it's not my favorite one in the franchise. It kind of lacks a little bit in terms of character wise. I wasn't crazy about the characters. Most of them were a little bit bland. Even our main characters, obviously they are part of this TV show thing. So yeah, they're okay for what it is, but they're not awesome, right? So I didn't really love that, although I have to admit that there are some pretty awesome actors, which we will get to soon, God willing, as I will be reading off the cast list. But some of them were just not that awesome in my opinion. I was very disappointed that Jamie Lee Curtis wasn't a big part of this film. I kind of really liked, the setting of the opening scene at this sanitarium, at the mental institution. It would have made such an awesome set for a horror film if the movie was just about her, just about Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Laurie Strode, and Michael in this institution, tracking her down there, trying to get to her. I love movies taking place in asylums and these kinds of places. I think those are such awesome horror movie settings. So if it were just about her and Michael kind of hunting her down, a little bit like in the second film, but different, since the second one was not that good in my opinion, but a little bit different with the asylum kind of setting, it would have been awesome. But this one is about a reality TV show contest kind of thing. So, yeah, I didn't love it that much. I hate reality shows, reality TV. I don't like it at all. So, yeah, even though in this film it was pretty close to reality, I guess, from what you'd expect. So let's move on to the cast before we're about to end this review. So I have Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. Brad Lorry plays Michael Myers, who was pretty good. Busta Rhymes plays Freddie Harris. And Busta Rhymes is a famous rapper, if I'm not mistaken, a singer. He's pretty good. He has his own YouTube channel, by the way, if you'd like to check it out. Then we have Bianca Cage Litch, who plays Sarah Moyer, who's one of our main characters. Sean Patrick Thomas plays Rudy Grimes. And who was he again? Let me check it here. I kind of forgot. I can't really remember what most of these actors look like. Yes, I mean, there are some very well-known actors in there. We have Then we have Daisy McCracken, who plays Donna Chang. Yeah, she was pretty good. She's pretty good. She's the redhead woman. She was good in it, in my opinion. She was in Cold Case in 2003 in an episode she guest starred in. She's a good actress, and she was good in this film as well. Then we have Katie Sackhoff, who plays Jennifer Jan Danzig, who is the blonde, who is also a pretty good actress. You know, she was in another episode of Cold Case, by the way, funnily enough. And she's Sarah's friend, if I'm not mistaken, her bestie, wasn't she? Then we have Luke Kirby, who plays Jim Morgan. Luke Kirby, what does he look like again? Man, I cannot remember most of these actors. Thomas Ian Nicholas plays Bill Woodlake. And yes, this one, though, I do remember he was in American Pie. He's a pretty good actor. In this film, he was okay. He was a little bit sleazy, you know. He was not really a cool, you know, person, I believe, right? Then we have Ryan Merriman, who plays Miles Deckard Borton, who's a pretty awesome actor who was in Final Destination 3. He's the one Grayson was telling you about in his review. He couldn't recall the name. Yeah, that's him, Ryan Merriman. He was okay. He's a good actor. He was in TV shows also. He's pretty good. He was in Smallville, an episode. Then we have Tyra Banks, who plays Nora Winston, who's pretty good as an actress. She's the one that you see here next to Jamie Lee Curtis. She's good. Then we have Lorena Gale, who plays Nurse Wells at the beginning, if I'm not mistaken, or in the end. I can't remember. I apologize. Then we have Brett Sivan, I think, or Sivan, not sure, who plays Charlie Albans, and Rick Rosenthal, who actually directed the film, right? Plays the Professor Mixter at university. You know, he was pretty awesome, even though we only get to see him in one scene, as he's having his class, his lecture, but he was pretty good, you know, in it. So those are the main actors, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna try to recall some of them. Let's see if I can see what they look like, because I didn't recall all of them. So let's see. Sean Patrick Thomas. So I'll just look him up yeah. So because the thing is, I don't recall a lot of these actors, what they look like. So this would give me the opportunity to perhaps recall something about them. At the very least, if I can see what they look like, it would definitely help. Oh yeah, I think I do remember him. So let me see. Sean Patrick Thomas. He's an American actor. Yeah. I don't recall him a lot. Oh yes, that's the one that is there on the top, I believe, right? He's next to the other actor. He's there on the top. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember him. He sounds familiar. I just apologize because it's so hard to keep all these names straight. So I'm just making sure that, Yes, these are all the actors. Okay, so yeah, I do remember him a little bit. So yeah, most of these actors were okay, but my favorite ones are definitely, yeah, Buster Rhymes was awesome in it, as well as Tyra Banks, Thomas Ian Nicholas, as well as Ryan Merriman were my favorites, I believe. So yeah, they were pretty good. Then we have Luke Kirby. This one I don't recall at all. So let me see if I can find him. Luke Kirby. Perhaps this would help me out a little bit remembering. But yeah, most of these actors were okay for who they were. Some of them were not that good in my opinion. Yeah, there's a little bit to be desired there. Our favorite actress character was okay for what she was, but I did prefer some other leads, but she was okay for what it was. So, yeah, Halloween Resurrection. I don't know what else I could say about it. I'm sorry, but it's taking such a long time to load. Look, Kirby. Let me see if I can remember him. He was in other. He was in a lot of other different things, wasn't he? So if I can see what he looks like, perhaps I could. I don't see his picture because I'm trying my level best to see here. But sometimes Wikipedia doesn't show the picture of the actor. This is annoying because I want to see his face. Okay, Luke Kirby is a Canadian actor. So let me see if I can recall Halloween 8. Alright, so he doesn't look that familiar. Most of them don't, to be honest with you. Most of them are just like, you know, I'm looking at them and I get some brain freeze because I only watched it once, the film I mean, and it doesn't look very, they don't look that, how could I say, rem, it's difficult to remember them just like this after having watched a movie once only. But yeah, all right, I think we're gonna end up this review before I, keep on, ranting for no without going anywhere in particular. So, what did you think about this movie? I thought that this movie was okay for what it was. Like I said, definitely not my favorite. Had its moments, had its good jump scares, had its good, scary kills, especially a beheading in there in this film. This was scary. And yeah, down the stairs, it was kind of gross too, as the head hits the stairs and, you know, rolls down. So yeah, so this was okay for what it was, but it could have been kind of better. It had some of it kind of dragged a little bit. It was okay. There's a scene there involving, some kind of a basement, some kind of, where you have a trap door and you have that ladder going down, and then you have some kind of skeletons falling down and bodies, and we don't know if it's real or not. I thought that this was good, as you see the wall collapsing and you have the the buddies falling down. I thought that this was an awesome, brilliant scene. So it definitely has its moments. Also, there's a scene near the end with where there's a fire that breaks out with electrical kind of wires that are just it's the you can see the place on fire and you have Michael Myers there during one of the last face-offs in the film, and one of the characters is fighting him off. Like he watches these you know fighting, scenes in movies. I thought that this was pretty awesome too. So yeah, this was okay. And yeah, my favorite actor is definitely from it. Buster Rhymes was awesome in it. He's definitely my favorite. I did enjoy also Ryan Merriman and Tyra Banks, obviously. Yeah, and Bianca Cage-Litch was okay for what she was. So if I were to rate this movie on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd definitely give it an 8 out of 10. Like I said, not my favorite, but has its moments, has its share, its interesting, scenes. And I dig the movie poster where you have the knife and you have the reflection of the characters, and there it reads, next to it you have the Halloween, Michael Myers mask, and you have the tagline, "Evil finds its way home." I kind of like it, especially in light of what the movie is about. But yeah, it's an okay movie for what it was. 8 out of 10 for me. And it has its moments, although it's not my favorite one in the franchise. But it definitely was okay. So 8 out of 10 for me. What about you folks? What did you think about Halloween Resurrection? Did you like it? Did you hate it? And I didn't tell you, but the twist was okay as well. Even though, it's kind of, you know, it was kind of funny too, in a way, and kind of predictable after you've seen a few, but it was okay for what it was. And I'll let you find out for yourselves what happens. Excuse me. So yeah, it was okay. So thank you for watching, and this is the end of this Halloween-a-thon movie reviews. Hope you enjoyed them, and I'm not going to be reviewing any more Halloween films until, God willing, next year. I will review some other films, but at least I'm so glad we happened to review the 8 main movies, right? And I apologize if this review was kind of all over the place, kind of clumsy, kind of not so, concise, but sometimes it's difficult to keep all my thoughts straight in my head, especially considering the fact that this movie was a little bit difficult for me to get into, to recall everything, even though it had its moments, as I said. But this is pretty much it for this review, Halloween Resurrection. So 8 out of 10 for me. What about you folks? What did you think about this Halloween film? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Thank you so much for following me on this journey. For those who have, I hope you enjoyed the Halloween movie review-a-thon thing and marathon. It was awesome for what it was. Please check out Michael and Grayson's reviews of the films. They're awesome as well. And I'm so happy that we got to kind of, even though we didn't do it at the same time, we kind of all participated in this in the review of these films. So it was awesome for what it was. So Halloween, 8 out of 10, and I really enjoyed this experience. So thank you for those of you who tagged along with me. All right, folks, this is the end of it. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review sometime. In the meantime, take care. Goodbye. This is Horror Town signing off.